It's your November update. Let's talk about all the new things that are happening in NOEM.AI in the month of November and what you have available to you right now in your backend. But before we do, good news. Our Black Friday deal is up and running. That means that everything we're going to talk about today, you're able to get us to do for you for a flat fee of $250 plus 3 months of our enterprise plan, which is $297 in just credit. You will get us to build an entire smart AI agent for your business that will alleviate your traffic and your hassle of customer service and sales that are happening for you so that you can enjoy Thanksgiving with your family. So let's talk about all the amazing things that have been developed and are now available to you in NOEM. First of all, let's talk about Shopify integrations. Right now, you can pull entire collections from Shopify by simply using the function Shopify collections. Let me show you what that's like. In your instructions, you can use the function, use function Shopify get collection products. And what that will do is it will allow you to pull from whatever collection you have. So use function Shopify get collection products from collection top sellers. So this will be the name of your collections that you want to pull the products from, and NOEM will show them like this. 3 of your product collection. This is super helpful when you are trying to take a customer through the journey of figuring out which product is right for them. For our hosted websites, you can now pass display names. For example, you can see this is our own hosted website, our own little Cree that's talking there. And in the name, display name is the one and only. So if I start typing here, what is your Black Friday Friday deal, you'll see that the username that passed is the one and only. So when from your own website, if you are adding this to your URL, display name equals and the user's name, you are able to pass it to the user. You can also pass a user image, like a profile picture. So if I added to the URL and profile picture, pic, equals and the link to a picture, it will now show the picture of the person right here. If I change this to something else, if I change the URL here for something else, you'll see that the image changes to a pinkish person. So you can add a username, you can add a profile picture and any other variable that you want to pass to NOEM. Speaking of hosted websites, you can also add your own favicon and replace the name NOEM.AI and the favicon. And let me show you where to do that. On your hosting tab, after you published your own and you have your own hosted website, first of all, you can change the background right here. We have all our backgrounds here that you can choose from. But if you wanted your own background or a different background, you can choose whatever image or video URL and just put them here in the background. For example, I already have one from Pexels, and let's try that. And this will have your own background. You can change it to whatever you want. Now, let's say you wanted to change the favicon right here on the top. You can do that right here. You can have your own custom domain and your own favicon changed for your own hosted website right here. Each of our websites have their own QR code. If you didn't want people to have a QR code on the website, you can disable it right here. And this means that you no longer have the QR code right here on the top. Now let's look at the backend and see exactly how you can make your chatbot agent your own. So here are a few things that we added in November. You can move the chatbot from the right to the left. So this is where it shows up on your website. In case you have something on the right and you want to move it to the left, this is where you'll do it. You can add a favicon icon, which means that where it shows up on the bottom of your page, like this is your favicon item. And you see this little cute thing that pops up right here? You control that by adding a favicon tooltip right here. You can add whatever you want. I recommend something that's more than, hey, let me help you. something more along the line of, here's how to make money, here's how to get a better heart, ask me what product is right for you. Something that will make them click on it and start interacting with it, knowing that it's not just a regular boring FAQ page. You can also change the default user picture. Right now, the default user picture is this one, but if you wanted to, you can add whatever image you want, and that will be the image that will pop up as the user. Of course, you can change your own profile bot picture. So what I recommend is using the same bot profile picture as your Favicon icon, so that when they click on it, it looks exactly the same one right here. A few other things that we added to our beautiful design page. You can now embed NOEM into specific elements on your website, meaning that you can have it embedded like this right there on your website, where people are clicking on it and they're interacting with your chatbot right on the page. When is this useful? Think about all the questions that you got when people are coming to your contact us page and filling up a form just for you to answer the questions later. Instead of a contact form, you just have your AI agent answer all the questions that they have, and only if they can't solve the problem, that's when you get a notification. But no more are you going to be getting emails with like, when are you open? Do you have this product? How are you dealing with returns? I need an RNA number. What is product right for me? All that stuff can now be solved in seconds on your contact us page. And you can do that by simply embedding NOEM right here, embedding that on your page. So let me show you how you do that with WordPress. If you are using the Enfold theme for WordPress, whichever element you're on, you'll go to the advanced developer settings, and in the developer settings, you're going to put the custom ID attribute, the same idea that you're going to put right here, right? In Divi, that will be in the CSS ID, and you're going to put that under the CSS ID. What you need to know, what you need to pay attention to is that the element, the name of the element in NOEM matches the name of the element on your website. And then what happens is that it will be embedded on your website. But wait, that's not all that you can do. You can now have Chatbot opens on element click. What does that mean? If there are areas on your website that when people click on it, they get confused, you want to explain a little bit more, you want to start a conversation about them. For example, on our own website, if you click on things, not canned responses, and you want to know a little bit more about that, if you click on it, you'll notice that our own chatbot pops up with the exact question that relates to what they clicked on. So if I click on support and sales, you'll notice, can you integrate with Zendesk? CEO reports, explain how the sentiment analysis reports features work. Setup in minutes, what does it setup in minutes mean? So you can create pop-ups, like the chatbot can start a conversation on your website based on element on your site. And the way that you set that up is right here with the open chatbot on element click. You can just add a new one. And the same way that we did before, you give it a name that will make sense to you. You choose the element that you want to happen. So pay attention, because if you're choosing a class and you have a class across the entire website, this will pop up on everything that has that same class on your website. Same thing with the CSS selector. Element ID is what I usually use. The chatbot message that will pop up. So right here, what is the chatbot message that you want to pop up? The prepared message, this is optional, and this will be the message that will pop up right here for the user. So for example, if you started with, what does setup in minutes mean? And you didn't want them to click on this, like you actually wanted the user to start typing a message and you wanted to fill that for them, then you will put that message here. And then the choices, if you wanted to add choices to the drop-down button. So let's give it an example. The trigger name is something for me so that I remember. Calculate ROI, for example. And the element ID will be calculate. The message bot will be how much money can I actually save? The prepared usage message might be something like, I'm currently paying $50K year for customer support. How much will I be able to save? And the options the choices might be 50K, I'm paying 100K. Let's just see. And now I can test it. Calculate ROI, I can test this, click on that, and you'll see exactly what happened. So you can see how much money can I actually save. And this will be options. I'm paying 50K, I'm paying 100K. And the message on the bottom, I'm currently paying 50K a year for customer support. So now you can see how each one of these fields relates to anything that's going to pop up in your chatbot. Obviously, you had to give your chatbot all the calculations and everything in the backend for it to answer correctly, but that's what Click on Element does. So what this means is that when I put this element on an image like this, that's the information that's going to pop up in the chatbot. It can be used in so many ways. It can be used to help people figure out anything on your website. You can put a click on like results and then make it clickable so it can show all your testimonials and all the results, help them calculate. So many applications for that. Lastly, we have limits. Sometimes people abuse your chatbots, or sometimes the conversations are taking way too long and you want to solve them faster with a human. So you can limit how many characters one thread can have, one user can have with the conversation, or how many messages back and forth with the agent a customer can have. This will make it so that you don't have to waste all your tokens on someone who's using your AI agent as their own ChatGPT for anything. So what happens when they reach the limits? The user gets a message that says, it seems I'm unable to resolve your issue. Let me contact support for you, and it will escalate automatically to support. So what's nice about that is that your users are not getting stuck in a loop. If your agent cannot solve their problems, automatically it escalates for you. But what we see is that most of the conversations are being solved by the agent itself. We get less than 1% being escalated to the user. So that again positions you as AI first rather than AI complementing the humans. AI frees the humans' time because it can solve all the problems, and only when there is an issue does it get escalated. Many of you have been testing your agents and your inbox is being filled with a lot of test messages that you yourself have created. Now, admin only can come and do a soft delete by clicking on this X and removing it completely from your inbox, cleaning it up so you can only see the user's interactions. We also added translations. So as if someone types in a foreign language and you don't know what it is, you can click on this Google Translate right here and it will translate the entire conversation for you. Another super cool thing is when you have a team of users and you want to give them access to your chatbot agents, but you don't want them to mess up with the instructions or anything on the project. You only want them to see the inbox. When you add them to a project, you can now choose between admin and member. If they are a member, they will only see the inbox and the stats. That means that they can act as customer support and not mess with your instructions or change any of your settings in the backend. This is super useful when you have a few companies, when you are reselling NOEM and you want to give your clients access to the backend to see exactly what's going on. You can just add them as a member to a specific project, and that will be the only project that they see when they log in to NOEM. Another super cool thing, you've seen NOEM Think, right? When I ask NOEM a question, what product do you have? You see it right there, thinking. What if you want to hide this function called labels? Now you can by simply clicking right here, hide function call labels. So if I save this and I start a new chat and I choose an option, now you will not see NOEM thinking, you'll just see it spinning and the answer comes out right away. The only downside of this is that when you're testing things, you don't know whether NOEM is actually following all the instructions or not. So my recommendation is to keep this on, and when you're done testing, then you can turn it off if that bugs you or your clients when they're using your AI agent. Just so you know, when I use Amazon's AI, I also see exactly what it's doing. It's helpful because it helps the user know that your agent is actually following their questions and what they're doing. But if you want to hide that, you can do that easily right here with the function call. You already know that NOEM can act as your customer support receptionist by connecting it to Twilio and having people dial the number directly and actually have a phone conversation with your agent. What you probably don't know right now is that you can also send out SMS via NOEM. So if you go to your instructions, and this is in beta, we're still testing it out, so help us out, you can configure Twilio to also send outbound SMS messages to user. When is this helpful? If someone calls your number and there is a URL that the chatbot needs to give them, instead of saying like, please go to www.daretoactivate.com/find my money, instead of that, the agent can actually text them the URL so that they can just click on it in the text and go act on it instead of trying to remember how to spell things and what to do exactly. Also, when your chatbot is not able to solve their problem, if you want to connect it to a human via phone call, then all you have to do right here is put the number that you want to forward the call to. So someone calls your chatbot, let's say Google My Business, and they're having a conversation and the chatbot realizes that it can't solve the problem. It'll be like, hold on just a second, let me redirect you to one of our representatives, and whatever number you're going to have here, that's the number it's going to call. So it can be your office number, it can be Ring Central or something similar where it does round robin and forwards the call to any one of your employees. If you choose this one, allow the user to add their own number, then when they ask the agent to text them, the agent will be like, no problem, what number should I use to text you? And if you enable this feature, now your NOEM agent can actually text them all the information that you want. Adding the seed and the authentication token to NOEM right here, super easy. All you have to do is go to your Twilio account to the console page, and right there on the console page, you'll find your account seed number and the authentication tokens. Copy those, add them right here into NOEM and click connect, and that will connect NOEM to your Twilio. Now pay attention, this is completely different than the inbound calls. This is outbound. Outbound SMS messages to the users. Inbound call, when you want people to actually call your NOEM agent, will be under deploy and Twilio. And right here, you're going to have to put these webhooks in Twilio voice configuration. You're going to go to your active number, and under voice configurations, you're going to add this URL right here, the webhook. This is for voice. If you wanted to do it for messaging, SMS as well, that's going to be right here, messaging configuration, and you're going to put your NOEM.AI webhook right here. And what that will do is it will allow you to put your number as Google My Business, as your office number, as any number that you right now use, so that people can go directly to your chatbot and interact with it via phone. So keep in mind you have two places. This will be for inbound, right here in the deploy under Twilio, and then outbound SMS will be right here in the instruction. And lastly, we made our sentiment analysis report available for everyone. If you want to start receiving reports on what conversations are happening on your AI agents without coming into your inbox and reading them all the time, all you have to do is go to stats and enable weekly analysis reports. You're just going to click on this. This will turn a nightly analysis on chat conducted to report back to you findings in a weekly email and in the chat box tab. Additional token consumption applies. So you'll click yes, And right here, you'll add the email address that you want the weekly report to go to. You can add a few of them if you want. And you can train NOEM how to send you the report and what to pay attention to. So for example, there are things that will trigger the AI, right? If you want to tell NOEM to disregard them, for example, we sell survival equipment, so fire starting questions are acceptable. We don't want the AI to start thinking that you're building a bomb or something. If you have not safe work project and certain words are acceptable, you can put right here so that NOEM will not bring those topics as suspicious. NOEM will also scan the web for reviews on your website to keep you up to date of the conversations that are happening around your website. If you want NOEM to ignore specific websites, just add them here. For example, ignore reviews from specific website. And if you want to guide NOEM on how to analyze your information, you can add those training right here. Focus recommendations on clarity of our services. It's an example. NOEM will take that and it will take that into account when it generates the reports for you. If you don't have anything specific, you can keep all of these off and let our default training to remain as is to send you the reports. Now, what do you get in those reports? You will get a thread analysis that will tell you specifically how many conversations were happening between last week and the previous week, what's the average message per thread is, positive sentiment, negative sentiments, how many times was a human emailed, what issues were reported, and if you're connected to Zendesk, how many tickets were created. Then it will give you an action plan. What do you need to do immediately to make your agent a little bit better? What's the near-term action plan? What's the long-term action plan? Then it will give you a summary of online reviews, and it will cite exactly where they're from. And if you are connected to Shopify, it will tell you about the searches made on your Shopify store so that you know which one of your products are being searched for the most. If you're connected to Zendesk, it will analyze the last 100 tickets on Zendesk and tell you exactly what conversations were happening there so that you can make your support a little bit better without living in your inbox. This is a CEO report that gives you a snapshot of what's happening in your business, so you don't have to go and ask your support team what's going on specifically. Then it will give you the matrix. How many Zendesk tickets were reviewed? How many were open? What's the oldest one? How many tickets were closed? What's the average time to close a ticket so that you can improve your customer support? It will also give you a classification analysis of all the conversations that were happening and discussed with the chatbot. What were the topics? Product inquiry, sales, support, order status, account management, billing, technical issues, complaint, feature request. And it will tell you the difference between the previous week and the previous week, right? Because we're always doing a week before. Lastly, it will tell you what languages were used. So you'll know who are the people that are actually interacting with your agent. And it will give you a suspicious analysis report. So again, this is where you decide whether or not you want to remove things from the suspicious list or you want to add them to the suspicious list based on what comes up in those reports. These reports are super, super valuable. Companies are paying tons of money to get an analysis like this. This is included in your NOEM account. All you have to do is go to Stats, Enable Weekly Analysis Report, and you're going to start getting those in your inbox. Now, for all our resellers, when you want to demo and close and actually show how NOEM might work on someone's website, or if you want to test it on your own website without actually deploying it on the site right away because you're still in testing mode, we added a Chrome extension to our Deploy tab. You can test with a Chrome extension. You click right here on the bottom. You're going to download the Chrome extension right here and follow these instructions to add the extension to your Chrome browser. Once you do, you'll be able to go to a website, choose the extensions, choose the NOEM extension, and inject the NOEM chatbot into the website. And now you can test it on the website, the look and feel, how everything is, without actually making it live. This allows you to see what it looks like, how it operates, how it interacts on your website without going live because you're still in test mode. If you are a reseller, this allows you to show your clients what their agent will look like on their own website without you having access to their sites right now. And lastly, Shopify owners, you can now track the orders inside Shopify, inside NOEM, which means that the user can also see the tracking of their orders inside NOEM when they ask the chatbot. So here's how it works. You're gonna go to instructions, Shopify settings. Of course, you have to be connected to your Shopify account. We used to have only search products right here on the bottom, but now we also have search orders, which means that when you click on search orders, you'll be able to add the email of the user to NOEM, which means that the user themselves on the chatbot in the front end can also put their own email in there. And NOEM will show the order itself and exactly what's going on with the order. So this is a real user, this is a real order, and you can see that when you clicked on it, the order shows up and that it was delivered, and it has the tracking number for UPS that the user can click on, and you can click on as a CS and see exactly what happened to the order, whether it was delivered, it's in transit, exactly what's going on. You can see it, the user can see it. So that means that if the user can see it, it doesn't need to ask you about the status of the order. They can just go to your chatbot agent, give them the email and the order number, and NOEM will look up their order in Shopify. No need to add any Shopify tracking plugins or anything like that. Everything is available to you with NOEM. So this has been our review of all the amazing developments that are happening in NOEM right now, and you can see how easy it is to install a very smart chatbot agent in your business that turns the support channel into a revenue channel, because it can show products that you have, it can help the user choose the right product for them, it can follow up with any customer support issues that they have, and by the end of the week, you are getting a report that shows you exactly what happened in your website, in your store, freeing your time to do the things that you actually need to do. Talk to your customers, grow the business, deeply think about strategies and ads and everything else that has nothing to do with the repetitive questions that are sucking up your time. So, just as a quick reminder, it is the holiday season. You are about to get tons more traffic and more repetitive questions and more inquiries about what to do and what to buy and how to get it and how fast it's coming. And NOEM can free up your time so you can grow your business without hiring, training, managing, and all that human interaction that is taking away time from growing your business. Instead, you can enjoy the holidays with your family, and you don't have to do any of the things we talked about right now. We will do it for you. So for our Black Friday special, you are getting all of this, all the integrations, all the flows, all the logic, all the strategy done for you for a low one-time fee of $250 instead of $999. You get all that done, plus you're getting 3 months of enterprise on us. So if I were you, I would get that right now. And I'll see you with our next report next month of everything new and exciting that's happening in NOEM. Have a happy holidays. See you soon.